Here are my top 10 reasons why Jimmy G will lead the 49ers to win Super Bowl 54 here in 2020. And you're going to want to stick around for reason number 1. Number 10, Jed York. Okay, he might not be as beloved as his grandpa, Eddie DeBartolo, who pretty much started the whole 49ers dynasty thing. But after a lot of dark days, futility, and disappointments in the past 25 years, Jed was the architect who brought in Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch and trusted them with 6-year contracts to get the team back to greatness. He was also responsible for building the new Levi Stadium. Number 9. Jimmy G has a winning personality or mindset. He has no ego. He is team first. He is very coachable. He stays loose during the game. He doesn't care about his stats. The only thing he cares about is getting the win. He has a great work ethic and his teammates see that. Takes his lead and follows him. He always has a positive attitude, even in the few losses he's had. Number 8. He had the best job training of all time. What I mean? Well, for starters, he learned from the best QB of all time, the GOAT, Tom Brady. Brady wasn't physically blessed. He didn't have the best arm. He wasn't the fastest QB. In fact, he's arguably the SOT, the slowest of all time. In the year 2000, Steve Young had just retired and the Niners needed a new QB. So they drafted Gio Carmazzi in the 3rd round and whiffed on drafting Brady, who had grown up locally as a 49er fan and idolized Montana. As a consolation prize, the 49ers now get Jimmy, who learned all the major skills and nuances of being the winningest QB of all time. And not only that, he learned from one of the greatest coaches of all time, Bill Belichick. On a side note, I think the single biggest failure in 49er history is drafting Carmazzi over Brady. Imagine Brady throwing to Rice and Terrell Owens for the next 5 years from 2000 to 2005. And it's probably the reason why Rice left the next year and Terrell left soon after. The Niners couldn't get it done with Jeff Garcia and Tim Rattay, and that's why Owens was out of his mind upset. They wasted those prime years of Terrell Owens. And guess who are to blame? This is pretty shocking. It's General Manager Bill Walsh and Coach Steve Mariucci. They were the ones who drafted Carmazzi over Brady and eventually let Rice go. That epic failure led to another epic failure. The Niners were so bad, they had the number 1 pick in the 2005 draft. They needed a quarterback again, big time. So instead of drafting Aaron Rodgers, who badly wanted to be a 49er, the Niners bungled this one again and picked Alex Smith. Okay, those 2 failures probably cost the Niners at least 6 Super Bowls. This time, not drafting Rodgers, the blame goes to Mike Nolan and GM Scott McCloughan. It's okay to miss out on talented players. It happens all the time in the league. But these 2 great QBs were homegrown in the Bay Area and wanted to be 49ers. Anyway, let's move on. This is getting depressing. Number 7, he has an extremely quick release. This helps to get the ball out before the pocket collapses, as this offensive line is good, but not great. Number 6, he is aggressive. He is confident to work the middle of the field, which is great for getting first downs. He's the anti-Alex Smith, who was too careful, too gun-shy. Throwing in the middle of the field leads to more interceptions, especially when balls are tipped and there's a lot of defenders in the area. But I'd rather have an aggressive QB over a timid game manager one. He's one of the main reasons why the 49ers have been one of the top scoring teams and top first down teams in the last couple of seasons, and enough to overcome the occasional interceptions that analysts always blasts him for. Simply, Jimmy G's aggressive play leads to some turnovers, but the net effect of being more aggressive more than compensates for the turnovers. And the analysts are too myopic to see that. Number 5. His footwork and overall throwing and non-throwing mechanics are really good. His fundamentals are great. He knows how to sell fakes, which makes him a great play-action passer. Number 4, he has a great defense. It's pretty obvious. Not much to be said here except that it gives him another reason to be aggressive on offense because mistakes can be cleaned up by the defense. Thanks to John Lynch's focus on drafting D linemen as the team's priority and defense coach Saleh's schemes. Number 3, he has the most balanced offensive weapons in the league. There's no bell cow running back stud like Derrick Henry, but he has a rotation of 3 fast running backs with a variety of strengths, making it hard for the other team's defense to key in on any one guy. The ball usually goes to the back who has the hot hand. As an example, Tevin Coleman was doing well in the Vikings playoff game, so he kept getting the ball and the Vikings couldn't stop him. Having 3 backs also helps them keep fresh, so they can bring the speed even late in the game. There's also no dominant stud wide receiver, but Emmanuel Sanders provides a veteran, dependable, precise route runner. Debo is a fearless dude who likes catching in the middle of the field where it's dangerous and runs like a running back when he has the ball. Bourne has a knack of getting first downs and touchdowns. He has the most balanced fullback in Kyle Juszczyk, who not only blocks well most of the time, but also poses as a threat to catch balls down the field for big plays. Then there's George Kittle, absolutely the best tight end in football today. He helps the run game and pass game more than any other tight end. He might not have the sexy stats of Kelsey, but according to PFF Pro Football Focus, Kittle finished with the highest overall grade for a tight end since the stats started in 2006. His 2019 grade was 95, and the next highest was Gronkowski with 92 in 2011. So awesome to have the best tight end and possibly the most personable tight end in history. When you combine such a balanced offensive attack with Jimmy G's skills, you get an offense that can beat you in so many ways, whatever is demanded in that game. Number 2, Kyle Shanahan. Kyle's an offensive genius who lives and breathes football since his diapers were being changed by his dad, Mike Shanahan. He knows exactly what he wants from his players. He has a great feel for play calling and has a sense of what the defense is trying to take away and exposes that. Jimmy is exceptional at sticking to the script and executing the plan. That's the kind of QB Shanahan loves. He wanted Kirk Cousins to be the guy at first, but in a way got lucky when Jimmy became available and the Niners didn't hesitate to offer a high second-round pick and make him the highest-paid quarterback at the time. Kyle knew Jimmy's potential, went for it, and is now rewarded with a franchise quarterback who just knows how to win. And number 1, he's so ugly, no one wants to marry him or have kids with him. Therefore, he is not bothered by a needy or demanding wife or annoying, bratty, disruptive kids. And so he can focus all his time on football.
Forever like rice and lot. Forget T.O. Niner Empire into the world power. Bang bang Niner gang. Niner gang. Bang bang Niner gang. Niner gang. Bang bang Niner gang. Niner gang. Bang bang Niner gang.